This is Jessica, and she's going to tell us the story about her son.
My son Caleb, he was 8 years old when we first came to see Laura, but prior to that, he had just a lot of various little health issues and behavioral problems and just some trouble in school. When he was real little, about 4 months old, he had pneumonia, so that kind of started our road to having to take a lot of medicines, a lot of steroids, just kind of started the downhill for his health. He began, having the infantile asthma after that, so he was on steroids, antibiotics quite often because he was sick. He was sick a lot. Then by the time he was 2, he started having just horrific fits. We could not get them under control, and I thought, well, are these just a typical 2-year-old, or is there's something more here? And I remember mentioning something to his pediatrician at the time, and he said, well, just kind of watch him and see how he goes. He began having just to the point to where we were kind of scared at times because he lost control. My mom, she watched him for us while my husband and I worked, and she would call us and we had to go pick him up several different times because she could not get him under control. He'd pick up things, he would throw things, he'd grab your hair, not typical fits at all. So this went on for a couple years, for several years really, till he's probably 4 or 5. I mean, they kind of got worse and worse, and he got bigger, so they got worse. And we used all kinds of behavior modifications with him. We never put him on any medication for that, but we tried to do a few things, watching his diet and different things, but nothing really seemed to work. And by the time he was in preschool, his behaviors were okay as far as at school, but we would get comments as he couldn't pay attention, he couldn't focus. There was various just red flags being alerted by the teacher, saying that they just seemed like he wasn't able to process things the way he needed to. So by the time he was in kindergarten, I requested for him to be tested for an IEP, and they did. And it came back that he did have a learning disorder. He was not able to, kind of an auto processing disorder. He was not able to process things like a typical 5-year-old at the time. So, and it still kept getting reports from the teachers. He couldn't pay attention. He couldn't focus. It seemed like he was always off in his own little world. So my husband and I started even getting more concerned because when he was 2, prior to the fits, he was very verbal. And even when they tested him, his verbal IQ was still pretty high. But those conversations that he would have with us weren't like they were when he was 2. I mean, his easily angered, easily tempered. The fits would happen, and then we spent more time, with trying to modify the behaviors than having our conversations like he used to have with us. So by the time he was in 2nd grade, one of his teachers told me that, if we didn't get his attention focus under control, he was going to have to probably be in full-time special ed in a few years. So we got really concerned because I did not want to put him on any type of psychotropic medications to help with his attention focus problems. So we began really trying to modify his diet, and we met Laura at that time. So after that, it went uphill from there. He had headaches really bad. He had stomach aches a lot, and he had hives all the time. I mean, he would just be covered in hives all over the place. He was still easily angered and could not pay attention. So these were the symptoms that we, presented to Laura when we came in to see her. And at the same time, simultaneously, we went to a chiropractor as well, and she did some food allergy testing on him and started doing some adjustments. So it came back that on his food sensitivity that he had a sensitivity to milk and eggs. And so we eliminated those completely from his diet, and there was a few other things that we eliminated as well, but those were the 2 main ones. For 3 months, completely eliminated them. While we were doing that, we began taking different supplements from Laura. He began doing some mud packing to kind of help because he was 100% vaccinated. And at that time, we didn't realize that vaccinations could cause some of the problems he was having. So we began the mud packing to kind of help detox his body from a lot of the toxins that were in there from all the medicines and the vaccinations. And then we also began doing, supporting his adrenals, his kidneys, his immune system, just various different things, and watching his diet at the same time. And within that 3 months, we were shocked at the miraculous change he had. He felt better. His hair looked better. His skin looked better. He wasn't getting the hives. He seemed happy all the time. He was just talking to us like he did before. So it was just a lot of different changes that we saw. And and he started doing better at school.